Thank you for watching a new edition of This Week in Pro Football. Fidel Barraza with you. Alongside, like always, my guy, Walter Stringer. What's going on, Walt?
Christmas for football fans, man.
And
Two
April.
more days. 2 more days. Everybody gets 32 gifts in the first round. And then for there on out, it's the gift that keeps on giving. You got to fill your roster out with the mid-round guys, some of the late-round guys. I think this is going to be a very, very interesting first round, given the fact that there's probably only one guy that's going to go in the first round, and that's your team, the Raiders, and Fernando Mendoza.
Yep.
Would you be shocked or surprised or mildly surprised if Ty Simpson went in the first round?
It would, but I mean, who knows? There's been a lot of reports out there that some people view him as a better quarterback than what, Fernando Mendoza is. I mean, there's rumors about the Cardinals potentially being interested in Ty Simpson to be their franchise quarterback. I mean, look, I think we're in for a lot of surprises starting Thursday night. I mean, we might see a couple teams trade in the first round.
Right. Because, I mean, what is it, a record? We got 6 teams with 2 first-round picks, which kind of makes things even slimmer pickings for teams like my Detroit Lions, who pick at 17 and have zero idea on what's going to be there unless they move up. And for a team like Detroit, when you don't have a third-round pick, you got multiple fourths and fifths, but you pick 17 and then you pick 50. So that's a very large gap when it comes to talent for a team that needs some elite talent that can step in and help right away. So, like I said, it's going to be very interesting. Yeah. I don't believe all 6 of those teams are going to pick 2 players. I think some of those picks are going to be bargaining chips. If you think anybody gets traded, maybe 2 players at the most get traded in the first round?
Maybe, but the question is who? I mean, we know A.J. Brown's probably going to get traded to the Patriots, but it won't happen until June 1st or after June 1st, so that trade's out the window. I'm sure there is a couple players out there that might get traded, but I mean, Dexter Lawrence just got traded over the weekend to Cincinnati for the 10th overall pick. I was surprised.
Yeah. Wasn't DJ Moore traded one draft year?
When he was in Carolina and then went to
when
Chicago?
He got traded to Chicago.
I don't remember it was during the draft. You might be right.
Yeah. I mean, it happens, man. I think there's a lot of guys who probably have been on the trade market for a while. We're going to find out about it come draft night.
I actually do have a name. Brandon Aiyuk. I mean, he's got to be worth, what, 6? I'm just saying.
Nah. His fall from grace needs to be studied, man.
I mean, does it?
So what was it, like a full 3 seasons ago that he was looking like, hey, he might be a top 8 guy? And
yeah, he looked good, man. Best
give him the money. And yeah. So it's a testament to how quickly not to say his career is over, because we all know that. And hopefully it's not for him and his sake. But receivers pretty much come a dime a dozen, man. And the elite ones, they're the ones that get 3 contracts.
Yeah.
They're the ones that get you 100+ catches every season and 15+ touchdowns. And they're the ones that really get paid. And eventually we're going to start seeing a clear cap, I believe, on the wide receiver position, because you can't keep paying everybody
but I mean,
elite money.
Yeah. But I mean, if we're talking about players that potentially could get traded, and it probably won't happen Thursday, but I would assume that they are going to try to get something for Brandon Aiyuk. A team that comes to mind is the Washington Commanders. Obviously, we knew they tried to trade for him a couple seasons back. Didn't work out. So if there was going to be a team out there, that's the one I would be watching for the services of Brandon Aiyuk.
It's possible, but I also believe whether it's this draft class or even either one of the previous 2 draft classes, a lot of organizations now view it as, man, I can get even cheaper labor with a young kid out of college. But Ted Hurst from Georgia State, we talked about him a couple shows ago. Would you rather have him if you're the Raiders?
Yes.
Okay. And you would rather keep your 6th round pick, right?
Yeah, but I mean,
or even deal it for somebody else. My point is, if you're asking me if I was an organization that needed a wide receiver right now, would I be happier with a rookie in the mid rounds, or would I be happier with giving up a pick for Brandon Aiyuk, who I haven't seen him play at a high level since they beat Detroit in the NFC Championship?
But I mean, how many receivers have we seen drafted late in the rounds and they're not good? I mean, we've seen the potential of Brandon Aiyuk, right? I know it's been a couple seasons, but it was there.
But it was also within Kyle Shanahan's system. So I don't think he's that elite, not elite, but I don't think he's right now. He's that good of a player for me to.
I'm not saying he is, but I'm saying that you asked the question, right? If I thought that there might be a player that might get traded during the NFL draft, I think Brandon Aiyuk is a name.
Man, to be traded for a 6th-round pick.
Maybe a 7th. I mean, who knows?
Hey,
I
I just
mean,
think his name has cooled down so much, and like we haven't heard any rumors about it at all. And it's like any team that needs a wide receiver, this is a pretty deep class. I can get cheaper labor. Hate to say it like that because it sounds awful, but I can get cheaper labor, probably better individual talent,
yeah.
and I can blend it into my offense. So and then he's coming off the injury. You
Yeah,
don't know
well-
what it is.
Well, that's the thing too, Walt. Is he going to be able to clear medical?
See?
He's got that knee. I mean, they were saying that there was reports out there that he did not follow his rehab like the way he was supposed to.
Okay, so I'm gonna ask you this: the Raiders got enough picks. Give up one for him.
No,
Let's see there we have it.
no.
There we have it, man. Let's get into this mock
But
draft.
go ahead, Commanders. Do you want to trade a 7th-round pick for Brandon Ayuk? I'm sure they would be open to it.
The Commanders.
Hey, maybe. But all right, well, let's go ahead and do this round 1 NFL mock draft. And obviously, we know who's going.
Okay.
We know who's going 1. It's going to be Fernando Mendoza, quarterback, going to the Raiders.
Just give me a second.
No, you're good.
It's buffering down here at the bottom as I try to share this screen. But yeah. Well, I'll get a second. What do you think? I mean, I know you're happy with the pick. You've been
I'm
happy
happy.
with the pick for months.
Yes, I have been. I mean, look what he did last year in college football and what he did in the playoff. He won a national championship, right? I mean, so to me, how often are you drafting first overall? The Raiders haven't drafted first overall since 2007, and that was the Jamarcus Russell draft. I think Fernando Mendoza he has a lot of potential. And the other thing too is he's not going to be rushed to be the starting quarterback for the Raiders because they have Kirk Cousins at least for one season. It gives him a chance to learn under Kirk, and I think it's gonna be a good pick.
Yeah, I do too. I've come around. I don't believe that you have to necessarily be completely in love with the prospect to understand that the prospect can still be a very good player for you, given the circumstances. I like the marriage with Kubiak offensively. I have no doubt that the Raiders are going to improve on what they already have around them. I love the tight end situation. I love the running back situation. I believe if you guys can just get a few more players offensively on that line, couple more wide receivers, all depending on what you want to do offensively as far as passing game wise. But I think the Raiders are coming. I really do. Now, what are they really planning on doing defensively? That's the whole thing. Do they understand what they really need? Because you guys do have enough picks where you can trade up and you can get everything you need. You can get yourself a nose tackle to help out Crosby. You can get yourself another edge rusher, whether it be a down defensive lineman. I don't know how you guys feel about Tyree Wilson moving forward, but you can always get more pass rush help. Cassius Howell or somebody. Like, you guys have a lot of options, man. I'm happy for you. Because the Raider fans have suffered for so long, man. Y'all a very loyal fan base, and the NFL is better when you guys are actually relevant. And I hope everything works out for the Raiders, man. Hope y'all give the Chiefs and everybody hell in the AFC.
Well, I'm glad Max Crosby is back. So one less thing to worry about. All right, well, so I'm not worried about it anymore.
Okay, well.
All right, well, so obviously we know one, it's going to be Fernando Mendoza, quarterback out of Indiana. Now, here is where the fun starts.
Absolutely.
At number 2, with the New York Jets, needs quarterback, receiver, defensive end, corner. I mean, what do you do?
Me personally, given the fact that if you're Aaron Glenn and his situation is messed up because, you got 2 first-round picks. You came very, very close as you could get to having the number 1 overall pick. And having Fernando Mendoza, more than likely, I'm pretty sure if they would have had the number 1 overall pick, they would have taken Mendoza. But you do have some power because you can either stay there, and in my estimation, I would take Arvell Reese, or you can hold the pick for ransom because somebody's going to want to move up to 2. I just think that this is a draft where there's no quarterback number 2, no clear-cut quarterback number 2. Nobody's going to reach for Ty Simpson, I believe, in the top 5. So you kind of by default get a draft where there's a bunch of really good prospects at different positional groups that kind of blend all together, jumble all together. So now you're in a situation where, do I want to move back a few spots and still get a guy that I'm happy with, or do I want to stay there at number 2? So for the sake of this actual mock draft, we stay at number 2. I would take Arvell Reese.
All right. And again, Jets have a lot of needs, and I mean, basically best player available at this point. Right. Well,
Absolutely. And, if you're talking about somebody who has a ceiling, and we hear that word ceiling a lot during this draft period every year, but he's a guy who could be, if he proves he can play with his hand in the dirt consistently, and I see no reasons to believe he can't. I see a guy who can be a more versatile Will Anderson. Like the ceiling for a guy like Arvell Reese is extremely high. Now, can he prove that down in, down out, he can get out there and pass coverage and be adequate at least? That's still up there. But if you're a team that's rebuilding defensively, I don't think Arvell Reese is a guy that you can go wrong with.
All right, let's go to pick 3, and that is the Arizona Cardinals. So again, needs quarterback, tackle, a defensive line, linebacker.
Yeah. All right. So I struggled with this a lot for Arizona because if Arvell Reese would have failed at number 3, I would have instantly taken Arvell Reese. But I think this is a team, this is an organization that they're sitting in a good spot, man. And I want to hear what you think, because me personally, I don't think they can really go wrong at this spot. If you look at what they did last year, they hit on Will Johnson. Will Johnson was a really good player until he got hurt. Walter Nolan was playing dominant football until he tore his meniscus. Now everything says that he's going to check out good and he'll be ready for training camp. That was the other first-round pick. You still got Budda Baker. Like, they've got some nice pieces over there in Arizona. Do you add another defensive player to keep building that defense? Do you add an offensive lineman in that spot? Do you give the offense more juice with a guy like Jeremiah Love? I understand that you do have a couple running backs over there right now, but is either one of those running backs him? And when it comes down to it, it's kind of a positional group now where you can afford to have an abundance of riches. When you got a rookie, you're going to pay him what you're going to pay him. But I'm not sure, how much did they pay Algier?
I don't have an exact number for you, but I think it was a fairly decent amount.
Yeah.
What the idea is probably going to be, starting. I'm not sure what James Conner's injury is looking like, how long he's going to be out, but I would imagine Tyler Algier is going to be the starting running back with the Cardinals.
Yeah. So, if you're Arizona, you don't have to necessarily go in that spot either. If I'm them, man.
I mean, you don't have a quarterback yet. Well, so I mean, to me, you build the defense.
Best available player.
So it's either going to be Cindy Styles or Ruben Bain Jr.
It can't be Caleb Downs.
You got Budda back there.
Yeah, I mean, there's a good chance Budda may be there for another year, but I think no discredit of Budda Baker, because Budda Baker is still playing high-level football, but you need 3 safeties in this day and age in the NFL. So they're in the situation where they can either make their secondary elite with Will Johnson, Budda Baker, Caleb Downs, a few other players that they do have right now, younger players, or they could fill out their front 7.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think they need help in that middle of that defense. If not there, then that defensive line. So, I mean, either Ruben Bain Jr. out of Miami or Cindy Styles from Ohio State.
Yeah, you know what I honestly think is going to happen? In that spot, if I'm them, Styles does make the most sense, but you're talking about a guy that's but he's an off-ball linebacker. We don't know if he's necessarily a blitzer. But if you're Arizona and you got him, now you're in a situation where you can kind of fill out that front 7 now, and I'm with you. So out of the guys, the defensive guys that's left, you could go Ruben Bain Jr.
I think you go there.
You help build that defense. David Bailey also.
Yeah.
Or do you improve the offensive line?
I like Ruben Bain Jr. And I know the story came out that he was in a car accident and someone died. I mean, I just think the talent's there. I'd go there.
Yeah. I like his temperament. I like his attitude that he brings to the defensive line also. Like I said, I was a big fan of Walter Nolan coming out of Ole Miss also. So go Arizona. All right, so we got Tennessee at number 4, man. Everybody's kind of typecasting Jeremiah Love there. You want to do something. You want to do as much as you can actually to help Cam Ward out, make sure he's successful. What do you do?
Well, I liked your idea, and you've been saying this for the last couple of weeks, right? About Jeremiah Love being a good fit for that Tennessee offense and helping Cam Ward. I think you go there. I think you get your running back and you help the offense, because we know how much they struggled last season.
Makes sense. And I mean, this is a team that's getting ready to move soon. And Tennessee's been kind of dull the last few years, man. Even when they were winning with Derrick Henry, Derrick Henry was amazing, but they were still a dull football team. And you don't want to have the number 1 overall pick in Cam Ward and still be viewed as dull. Nobody in the NFL, well, outside of the hardcore fans, people really don't even know your roster like that. And that's no insult to Tennessee. But if we're being honest about the Tennessee Titans, The average fan can't name 6 players on the Tennessee Titans right now.
Well, I mean, they played like no national games.
I mean, everybody knows Jeffrey Simmons and they know Cam Ward from being the #1 overall pick, but a guy like Jeremiah Love can give you a ton of juice. So I'm with you.
All right. And you got the pick at 5, the Giants.
Yes. Okay. So listen, scratch Sonny Styles out. I've invested enough on my damn defense the last 3 years. I'm not gonna keep drafting players at the same damn position. You still got Kayvon Thibodeau. You got Burns over there. You spent the 4th overall pick on Abdul Carter. You traded the heart and soul and interior of your defensive line, so you still do need a defensive tackle, but you're not going to take one here because you can get one in the second round, a high-level one in the second round for that matter. For me, it comes down to, if you're the Giants, how high are you on this tackle class? You know, and I understand that they got good play out of their tackles last year, but if you view any of these offensive tackles as elite, you have the ability at number 5 to get your #1 overall tackle in this class if you feel like he's an upgrade. And I understand that they re-signed some guys, but you know this firsthand. You've seen it happen with your offensive line. I've seen it happen with mine. In this day and age in the NFL, offensive linemen get hurt, bro. There's no such thing as having too many good offensive linemen. No such thing at all. Left tackles get hurt, right tackles get hurt, guards miss games. It happens. And you can never have too many good offensive linemen. So it once again, for me, it comes down to who you believe in the most. Francis has the ability, if you believe, to either play right tackle or he can kick inside and play guard. So he does have that versatility.
And that's a need.
Yes. They also do need secondary help in Caleb Downs. They're not going to go edge again. I think that would be extremely dumb. Yeah. I would not go wide receiver, even though a lot of people say that wide receiver is a huge need for them. I believe Malik Neighbors. I'm not into the overkill with the first round of just going offense like that. I believe Malik Neighbors are going to be back. He's going to be old Malik Neighbors. Cam Scatterboo, you got a lot of work out of him. Tracy was looking really good until he got hurt, so you got both of your running backs coming back. If you want to make sure you can keep Jackson Dart healthy, offensive line for me has to be a spot to go, and I think Moreau Freeling, to me, he has the most upside. He has more upside than Francis, a little bit more upside than Spencer Fano, because I've kind of questioned his overall playing strength and his lack of base. He's got kind of a basketball body. Not to say that he can't still be an elite player, but right now, if I was betting on either one of them, I would probably take Moreau Freeland at this spot.
So you think Caleb Downs here is a no-go for the Giants?
For me,
and I get what you're doing. You want to protect your young quarterback.
Yeah, and then like a safety at 5 is still kind of steep for me. It is. You know, I like Caleb Downs very much, but that's still kind of steep for me. Now, is he too steep for Cleveland? I don't know.
All right, yep. The Browns have the 6th pick in the draft. So which way do you think the Browns need to go? And obviously it says needs quarterback, receiver, guard, tackle. I mean, how many quarterbacks do the Browns have right now?
Okay, so I'm gonna put this on you. Is Shedeur Sanders your quarterback?
No.
Okay, so you're not necessarily drafting to make him better. You could just be drafting the best available player. The defense, you lost Jim Schwartz.
I'm gonna say something real quick.
Yep.
I think Deshaun Watson's gonna be the starting quarterback for the Browns week 1.
Holy boy. Oof.
I'm just saying.
You can't score. Like, that's been the Cleveland's issue the last 2 years.
But look, man, Shedeur was out there and he just did not look too good, man. I'm not saying he's not going to be good. He was not in the perfect position wise, but I'm telling you, I'm thinking Deshaun Watson's going to be the starting quarterback for the Browns week 1.
Yeah. I'm going to shoot the mess up to you, but if I'm them, I probably would take Francis at this spot. Just the fact that they do need offensive line help bad right now. Whether you feel like I said before, he's a right tackle, or you feel like he's athletic enough, quick enough, agile enough to move to left tackle, or if you feel like he's a guard ultimately, he's still a high quality offensive lineman. So if you're Cleveland, I'm not Cleveland. If you're Cleveland, why not?
Yeah, you take the tackle. They need the offensive line help. If for whatever reason Shedeur Sanders is the starting quarterback for the Browns, he's going to need to be protected. So Francis is going to be the pick for the Browns at 6.
All right. You know who else needs to be protected?
Jane Daniels. Washington Commanders picking 7th overall. Running back is a need also for them. Wide receiver, defensive line, and safety.
Yep. They need a lot of help, bro. That defense is a shot in the arm.
They're an old defense.
They are. They are. So how do you view their point of view? Like, from things, because at 7th overall is kind of like prime spot to take a wide receiver in most drafts.
And that's what I was thinking too. Because I mean, look, you have Terry McLaurin, but he's getting older, right? You traded for the receiver from Tennessee, Traylon Burks. He had that really great catch, looking like Odell Beckham Jr. against the Cowboys on Sunday Night Football. I think you have to go offense, but at the same time, defense is not a bad way to go either.
Yeah, I mean, Sonny Styles is still on the board. David Bailey's still on the board. And that's because we're actually thinking from our own points of view.
Yeah.
Guys are going to fall out of the top 5 that people felt like should have went in the top 5. It happens every year.
Every year it happens.
So what do you think for Washington, man? They're one of the biggest puzzles because they could go a variety of different ways.
Well, when we think about Washington's struggles last season, the defense is the one that stands out the most. And I know Jane Daniels was hurt and the offense didn't look good, but just the defense was horrendous, right? They fired the defensive coordinator, in the middle of the season, and then you had the head coach take over play calling duties for the defense. I think you go Sonny Styles.
I get it, man. I get
But
it.
you want to go David Bailey?
No. I just think, listen, whether it's Sonny Styles or David Bailey or even Caleb Downs for that matter, Carnell Tate, whatever. Hey, Spencer Fanu, there's a variety of ways they could have went. This is best available player left. And as you said, they need some youth because that's an old-ass defense. So, Sonny Styles. Now, Saints, man, scrappy team last year, to say the least. They were in a lot of games. They played spoiler down the stretch. That defense competed, played over their head, but the problem was they couldn't move the football consistently. They were putrid in every numerical aspect of offense last year. But, when Shuck took over, once he got comfortable, the offense started moving a lot better. So those numbers did get better the final 5-6 games of the season. I say if you don't go offensive line for him, you go wide receiver. Now it just comes down to what you think is most important for him because most people are not going to take a guard in the top 10. I wouldn't care about it. You have that. You could go more juice on defense.
I mean, you don't think Bailey would be a good spot right here for the Saints?
He would definitely he would definitely give them somebody young that can get off the quarterback now because they've invested on the defensive tackles. Breesy's been decent, but nothing to really write home about. And they do need some juice on defense. I mean, what do you think?
Unless you want to get him a receiver, Carnell Tate, you have Chris Olave still.
Yeah. I just always felt like they needed a bigger, sturdier guy, though.
Well, what about a tight end?
Hell no. I wouldn't take Sadiq at this spot. I just think that if you're the Saints, you struggled offensively too bad last year, man. And there's like a lot of high quality defensive players still on the board, but
Carnell Tate's gonna be the pick then.
Yeah, I mean, or it could be Jordan Tyson,
Which one would take him?
I would take Tate. I just think Tate is the safer pick. He's healthier. He's a couple notches above a possession receiver. I think he can actually make big plays downfield. He's very good at stemming his routes and setting guys up, body positioning. So I do believe he can make plays downfield. And I like his body type. I think Tate, by some point in time, he should be a guy that's around probably 212, close to 215, long arms, big hands, really good wingspan, ball skills. I think he's what a guy like Tyler Shuck and every quarterback needs. You need that bigger possession guy who can do a little bit more than just catch everything underneath and block. And
all right. Yeah.
Why not?
All right. Carnell Tate the pick for the Saints. All right.
Chiefs.
Picking 9. Kansas City Chiefs.
Man, listen. If I'm them, I just traded Trent McDuffie. I just lost, what's the linebacker name that signed with the Commanders? Leo Chenal. Boy, and look what I got. I got David Bailey on the board. I got Caleb freaking Downs still on the board. I can put an elite safety on my defense. I traded a corner. I can always take a corner. I got Dylan Thieneman here. Like, there's a lot that they could do. They just dumped one of those with the right tackle. They could actually get Spencer Fine. Like, there's a lot that they could do. Ooh, the guard. Like, ooh, if you're Kansas City. Now, I'm going to make this pick because you may just play or hate Kansas City and give them a bad pick. So, we're not going to do this, man. If I'm Kansas City in this spot, bro.
You're taking Caleb Downs.
Yeah.
All right. All right, the Giants picking at 10.
You already know what I'm thinking. I would take a guard at 10. If I could possibly walk away with the number one offensive tackle and the number one guard in this draft, I would do it. And it's cheaper. Like, I understand a lot of Giants fans had this dream of somehow Jeremiah Love falling to 5 and they would take him and then they would turn around and take Carnell Tate or Jordan Tyson at 10. That's taking 2 luxury position players in the top 10 is financial suicide. And you're not going to be able to keep all those guys for more than 4 years. You got to pay Neighbors soon. You're going to have to pay Dart soon. So you can get away with Scatterboo and Tracy. So the question becomes, do you think the number one guard in this spot is good, or do you help out the secondary? Because the secondary does need help. I'm a big fan of Dylan Thieneman. Mansour Delaney also. That's if you're not looking at going offensive line and back-to-back picks.
All right, so what's Joe Shane doing? Or, John Harbaugh. What are you thinking here? You have quarter 2.
Oh, man. If I think
You're going safety.
they take Dylan Thieneman. Yeah.
All right.
Just knowing how he loved his safeties in
Mhm.
Baltimore.
All
Shit,
right,
one of his
now-
last picks was the safety in Malachi Starks last year.
All right, now picking 11, the Miami Dolphins.
Oof.
Well, now we're talking about a team that
Need every
Needs a lot of help.
thing.
they need everything.
Yeah.
Besides the quarterback, they help. Not
First
that they
pick of a
don't like the
rebuild. I'm taking David Bailey. Like that's the first thing I would think of.
defense. No, I don't think you have to. I think David Bailey's a pick.
Yeah. Best available player still on the board.
Yeah,
Sack master. All right. Dallas.
Dallas needs a corner. Obviously, Trayvon Diggs is not there anymore, so they need some help on the back end. A linebacker, defensive line.
I think they like Jamont McCoy a lot. If I'm Dallas at this spot, looking at who's left, they need corner. So it comes down to, is it Delane or is it McCoy? You know, is there any seriousness? Is there any validity to the degenerative knee alleged reports of him not working? Now, is that honestly going to scare some teams? Now, if I'm Dallas, I got 2 first-round picks. I think the talent is worth the gamble. I would probably take a chance on Jamont McCoy, but they took Chevelle last year coming off of an ACL injury, if I'm not mistaken. So you're going to take 2 corners in back-to-back years from the same injury, the same situation. What do you think Dallas does? Because if you look how the board has fell, honestly, they're not taking the offensive lineman. They're not taking the tight end. They're not taking a wide receiver. They're not taking a guard, even though Ione would make But Dallas, they don't need him, honestly. Corners a need, linebackers a need. I wouldn't
need
take
defensive
C.J.
help.
Allen this early.
No, I think you go corner Delane from LSU.
All right, the L.A. Horns. So they got Trent McDuffie from Kansas City.
Yep. They had listed as a need receiver, tackle, linebacker. And look, Fennell's right there.
Yeah, I would probably take McCoy simply because they needed so much help at corner last year. They were that bad. And if they could actually solidify the cornerback position, that's if McCoy actually reaches his potential and actually turns out to be something. You're talking about him and Trent McDuffie. You got Jamont McCoy for cheap. If he turns out to be really good, you got him for cheap for his first 3 years. By that time, you may move on from McDuffie. You know how the business is. But Jamont McCoy would be number one corner type of talent insurance that you would have in case you did decide to move on from McDuffie. So if I'm them, he would be worth the gamble for me. What do you think? I mean, this is a team. What do you give the team that has everything?
Well, they do have a lot, right?
Take the
but
guard.
I mean, if you had to point out a flaw they had last year during the playoffs, it was the cornerback position. I mean, shit. I'm just thinking about the play against the Bears, where they left Colston Loveland alone, or they backed off.
Well, I'm just letting you know how I'm thinking. If it's not cornerback, then it's the guard. I wouldn't take anybody, either one of those 2 cornerbacks, or I'm taking the guard from Penn State. Like that's kind of where I'm thinking.
Well, you got an aging quarterback that's got a bad back. You got to protect him. But then also you need the defensive help too. And I know they traded for Trent McDuffie from the Chiefs, so that's definitely going to help. I mean, shoot, maybe you go offensive line.
You say go O-line?
I think so.
Yeah, I don't think he's a bad pick at all because he's got all pro type of talent. And everybody wants a guard with that type of talent. So if you're the Rams, hell of a pick. All right, Baltimore Ravens, what do you give a team that needs a lot?
Oh, hold on. Well, it's not the Las Vegas Raiders picking 14th?
Nah.
Trade was rescinded. All right. Yeah. All right.
Yeah, we know 14th. How that happened. Can't let you make this pick. He's full.
Why not? Let me. Let me make the pick. All right, Baltimore's needs receiver, center, guard, linebacker.
Oof.
Boy,
If I'm them, I would probably take Jordan Tyson. You got to maximize that window, bro. I'm not as high on Makai Lemon as a lot of other people are. For him to be that size, I would expect him to be a lot more explosive. I'm not sure if I think he's a good player. I'm not sure if he's really worth a top 20 pick in this draft. So if I'm gonna give him a wide receiver, it would have to be a bigger wide receiver like Jordan Tyson, who has every part of the requisite skill set that you would need to be a legitimate number one wide receiver in the league. Had a couple injury issues.
yeah. Well, I was going to ask you, didn't he have a pro day last week? And that he was going to run routes because of the knee issues that he was having.
Yeah, it's what else you got to do at that spot? It's kind of a gamble.
What
But
about
if you're,
Sadiq?
you know,
I know you have Mark Andrews, but he's getting older, right? Your
Kenyon
backup,
Sadiq,
yeah.
yeah, no, I get it. It makes sense. You lost two tight ends.
They lost 3.
You lost Charlie Kolar. You lost Isaiah Likely.
And some others.
Ideally, yeah, it makes sense.
But I mean, if you were gonna go receiver, I like Lemon, but I mean, you're saying
We got enough of those small guys.
Well, that's true. You get Zane Flowers, but
You think it's Sadiq?
I think Sadiq, he can split out wide too. So
Yeah. All right, Tampa, man. Emeka Ibuka looks like a hell of a player, bro.
yep.
Baker. Let's discuss Baker first because I actually think you can win with Baker. I think you can win big with Baker. But what is going to happen with him and what I think needs to be done with Baker, because he's so volatile in his play, he's streaky, he's hot for 6 games, he's cold for 3, he's good for 2. He needs a consistent rushing attack. And like most quarterbacks, he needs more weapons. He needs a better offensive line for that matter. But eventually, and then also the defense. It's kind of like in a situation where you got to protect Baker from himself because he's such a competitor. He thinks there isn't a throw out there on the field that he can't make. He's tough as nails. He's mobile. Like there's not too much Baker can't do out there on the field. He's just kind of short. I think you can win with Baker, but the question is the door starting to get a little closed because he isn't the biggest quarterback. He has been injured a lot in his career. He gets beat up a lot. He runs around out there. Are you making this pick to maximize his window? Because if you are, I'm like, do you take another wide receiver like Jordan Tyson?
Man, you just dug in my guy Lemon up.
Because I don't know why they got him. Well, I know why, because the injuries for Jordan Tyson. But if it wasn't the injury concerns for Jordan Tyson, he would be probably a top 7 pick.
Well, but what about that defense?
Oh, no, don't get it wrong. They need help. Jamal McCoy makes the most sense because they lost some corners. Dean's gone. Everybody's gone damn near. That was been there over the past 3 years.
Yeah, and Todd Bowles being the head coach. I mean, look, if things don't go well for Tampa next season, he's probably gone.
They need linebacker help too. You're right. They need a lot.
Whatever the pick is, they got to hit.
Yeah.
So I mean, definitely. Do you go best available?
What I'm thinking right now. Are you trying to make Baker better?
Yeah, I got to get him weapons.
More offensive line help. I mean, Spencer Fano, he's no slouch. I just don't think that he's like the high end tackle prospect where everybody's gonna be fighting over him in the top 10, the top 12.
Well, why not Makai Lemon? I know that you're not a fan of the size.
I mean, you got what, Tez Johnson? What is he? 5'3", 106 pounds.
Hey, honestly, Sadiq right here would make a lot of sense.
He would, but he's a Raven.
I know.
Well, I mean, I don't know. Kenyon Sadiq, OJ Howard. You remember?
Yeah, I remember
that. Listen, they've lost a lot defensively too, man, in that secondary. So is Jamal McCoy the pick? Or it's still a gamble. Do you go Fanu? Do you take another wide receiver because you can't count on any of the guys you got?
What we got? Who we picking?
If I'm them?
If you're them.
And I'm figuring it out. I want to explain it, man, because you're possibly at pick 15 get best wide receiver in the draft. Like if he's healthy, he's the best wide receiver in the class. If you compare that Buka, you have at least in that division where Atlanta has no quarterback and Carolina's quarterback is still kind of volatile up and down. The Saints are still kind of figuring things out. And remember, we gave them Carnell T. So and organizations do it. They will match each other pick for pick. Well, if you're going to take Carnell Tate, then we'll take Jordan Tyson. Because you do need the help if you're them. Added help.
Yep. All right, picking 16, the New York Jets.
All right, so we went Arvell Reese at number 2. So if you're them, you need cornerback help. Do you double down on defense and go ahead and take McCoy here? You traded away your boy last year, Sauce. DJ Reed, who was there a year before last, who was their second best corner. He's been gone, of course, for almost 2 years now. You did not get a single interception last season. I'm just saying, in a draft like this, you can't, in theory, with 2 first-round picks, you would like to get a quarterback. You don't want to push it here with Ty Simpson. So I think it comes down to, if you're Aaron Glenn, how much safety net do you have? If I'm gonna be here for 5 or 6 years, y'all let me know that I'm guaranteed to be here, then I'm gonna build my defense in the draft like this.
Yeah, no, it's not guaranteed he's going to be there.
Well, what else do you do? I mean,
pick the receiver. Give Geno Smith some help.
Geno's back in town. So that's what you want right there?
I think that's what they're going to do.
All right, my Detroit Lions are now on the clock.
This is all you.
Yep. All right, so we need tackle help. We do need defensive line help. We do need linebacker help. All of those things are true that they have there under needs. Cornerback is also a need. Safety is a need. We have no idea on the future of Kirby Joseph as far as his knee is concerned. We have what we have going on with Brian Branch and his situation with his knee as well. It's a good chance we won't see him to probably November of next season in a uniform. And for that matter, safety is a big need in the NFL in this day and age. Everybody's playing dime majority of the damn time now, and you do need 3 safeties. There's not a safety here. I would take it 17 in theory. If Caleb Downs had fell to 17, I would love to have Caleb Downs. But of course, Caleb Downs is not there at 17. Spencer Fanu, I think we've added so many players on the offensive line over the past 2 off seasons. We drafted Tate Ratledge. We drafted Miles Frazier. We do have Christian Mahogany coming back from injury. He's healthy. We signed Cade Mays from Carolina in free agency. Like, we've added a lot of offensive line. Therefore, I don't believe that they're going to go offensive line at this spot. I believe that they have a lot of confidence in their line room right now. So that won't be a spot they go either, and I wouldn't go there. I'm just at the point where we're at right now. You look at this spot in the draft. I'm still a big Cassius Howell fan, man. I am, and I understand that people don't like his arm length. A lot of people don't like his body type. I look at the production at Bowling Green. I look at the production at Texas A&M. These aren't flash in the pan seasons. Like, these are statistics from a guy who understands how to rush the passer. You're going to make up everything for Ruben Bain. You got to make it up for him too. So I'm going to go against the grain, not because I'm trying to go against the grain, but simply because I'm still a fan of his. I'm a bigger fan of his than a lot of other people are. And I'm going to take Cassius Howell right here over Jamal McCoy.
All right, let's go to pick 18, the Minnesota Vikings. Needs running back, center, defensive line, safety.
If I'm them, I wouldn't even hesitate at pick 18. I think he's a good enough player for them and what they need on that defensive line, and I would take Caden McDonald. What do you think?
Well, I don't think there's a running back here at this point to draft. I think you can get one in the second, third round. Offensive line help, possibly. Defense is okay. Their problem was more on the offense.
Yeah, I mean, well,
I mean, you can't go bad with another quarterback.
Yeah, that was the problem, wasn't it?
Kyler Murray's there now.
You know who I think is that type of player too? Keldrick Faulk, because he brings a lot of versatility. You're talking about 6'6", almost 290, close to 290. Even though he lost some weight, I believe, for the combine.
But he's more of a project, though. What do you say?
I don't think he's a project, man. You know, does he necessarily bring the pass rush value that you would like out of a classic defensive end of this day and age? No. But he is an elite run defender. He's got some tools. He's got really long arms. He's got huge, heavy hands. And he's a guy that can play 5-tech, 4-tech. He can play some 2. He's a guy you can move all up and down the offensive line. Not offensive line, but the defensive line.
I mean, but obviously right now, Wally, he's not a finished product, right? I mean, certainly he has room to improve.
I mean, all of these guys do. Yeah. Honestly. Now, you could go after a guy like Akeem Mesidor, who has injury concerns, as well as he's a guy who's 24 years old. But if I'm Minnesota, if I'm going to go defense, more than likely, I'm looking at somebody who can impact things right away. I still like Jamal McCoy here, too. I think he's the guy who could go to any one of these teams going forward.
I think you go McCoy.
If you're Minnesota,
Yep.
because if we didn't send him to Minnesota, I was gonna probably for damn sure for Carolina. All right, so you got to the playoffs, man.
You need a receiver.
Man, they made some big plays down the stretch. Man,
Yeah,
I
but
thought when Bryce threw that touchdown, I jumped up, man. Oh shit, Bryce about to beat the damn Rams.
yeah,
Stafford said, "My Fresca."
they need a receiver. They need a tight end.
Yeah, they need somebody dependable, bro.
Yeah, I mean, because
ain't nobody left on the board.
Exactly. All right, let's go down your board real quick. I want to see something.
The defense was
All right. Well,
Omar Cooper Jr.
Man, that's too high though.
Caden
Proctor. That's too high.
Damn. I mean, you don't have to necessarily go offensive weapon here at this spot. You know, you could just make the defense even better.
All right. Well, look, what if there's a team right here that's willing to trade up, and then you pick up another pick and you move down a couple spots? Team I'm thinking about, possibly Chargers, maybe.
It's possible,
but we're not doing trades in this mock draft.
Well,
if you're the Panthers, I mean, what do you do?
You hit on Ted McMillan.
Yeah,
so that's that's one weapon you got right there. If a guy like Jeremiah Love happened to be there, I think you take him. Not, so since he's not there, you kind of have to be happy or content at least with your current running back room. And there's nobody for them to take right there. So they got better offensive line play. So I don't see him going offensive line here. Messidor doesn't bring enough youth and upside. I'm not sure exactly how high or low the NFL really is on Emmanuel McNeil Warren. I'm just not buying the early first round hype, but that's a possibility if teams are really as high on them as we hear. Keldrick Faulk is another guy that brings defensive line versatility. Avion Terrell, Omar Cooper Jr. Now, to me, it comes back to this. Jimmy Horn Jr. kind of struggled last year, but still got a bunch of talent. You add a guy like Omar Cooper Jr., 6 foot, round 202, tough as nails, strong, can run everything underneath, can be a security blanket for Bryce. I mean, at number 19, if you like him enough, what's wrong with taking him at 19?
Yeah, you pick him. I think Omar Cooper Jr. right here's the pick.
All right, Dallas. So we gave Dallas Mansour Delane at 12. All right, defense was bad last year. C.J. Allen would give them a consistent on-ball linebacker.
I think that's the pick.
Well, there we go. Because we gave them Keldrick Faulk, people would have a simultaneous stroke. All right, Pittsburgh, man, got a lot of picks, need a lot of shit.
All right, well, look, quarterback is a need, running back's a need, guard, tackle. We obviously know they're not going to go quarterback here. They're not going to go running back here either. So it's going to be a guard or tackle. Fanu's still there.
All right, Chargers. This is easy for me.
Right there?
Nah. If I'm they're getting both their tackles back. Hopefully, if they can stay freaking healthy. Now this is interesting because for me, it comes down to the guy at 27 and the guy at 28. Because you could take Caden Proctor because they need guard help bad. You could take Caden Proctor and move him inside the guard. For me, it's the guy that's ranked 27 and the guy that ranked 28. Because they both feel needs. Like, it's tempting to know that you got Joe Alt and Rashawn Slater coming back as your tackles, and I can take Caden Proctor and move him inside the left guard or right guard because they need guard help bad. But they also need a presence on the defensive line too. And Caden McDonald feels that. So at pick 22, I say why not? I would take Caden Proctor, even if it doesn't work out at guard, or let's say one of those other guys get hurt because Slater's been hurt a few times.
Yeah.
You may need a guy like Caden Proctor to fill in at tackle. He's got tackle experience. So I would take Caden Proctor here because you got to make sure. And to me, it just feels like a Jim Harbaugh type of pick, because he understands how important the offensive line is. And we saw what happened in that playoff game. We can't ignore it.
All right, Proctor's the pick for the Chargers at 22. All right, 23, Eagles. Receiver, tackle, edge rusher, safety.
When you get a team that has everything, almost everything. They did sign Reek Woolen in free agency. They don't have to necessarily go safety at this spot. They're known to go best available player. They could shock us. They need offensive line help as well.
Yeah.
No,
You go tackle?
I don't know. Honestly, if I'm them, I'd be tempted to go to take Keldrick Falk at this spot. Maybe I'm a fan of his versatility. And if you're talking about a guy being a project, if you view him as a project, what better situation than what he would have there in Philadelphia? So that's kind of where I'm leaning. They solved the cornerback situation, I believe, unless they really feel like a guy like Avion Terrell could help out also. Blake Miller, Edge, TJ Parker. I mean, this is a team that could take a gamble on a guy like TJ Parker. And you're talking about pick 23. I mean, they got some spots they could go in. What do you think? 'Cause, I mean, they're not taking the wide receiver here.
No, too high. Tackle, edge, rusher. I mean, move up to your board. What about Messidor?
Hakeem Messidor makes sense, I guess, for a team that is ready to win now. Of course, you get a guy that played a ton of football in college, a senior, and makes sense. High upside. Well, at least high floor. All right. Cleveland. We gave them Francis.
Yep.
What do they do?
Tackle, more offensive line help.
Well, I keep bringing this up because the guy's not there anymore. Jim Schwartz is gone. So do they need more talent on defense? Because the system is gone.
Has he officially left the Browns? Did they release him? They still on his rights, right?
Damn, that sounds terrible. I'm not sure. He sounds like he's a pit bull or something.
You know what I mean.
Yeah, but I'm not sure. I'm not sure, but he's done there. He's done there. And there's some good players still on the board. They could use some safety help as well. You could double down, add a guy like Keldrick Falk to the defensive line with Myles Garrett. You spent the top 5 pick on Mason Graham a year ago. He played well, even though he only had half a sack. You need cornerback help also. Man, or do you just say, I want the value and I just want another defensive tackle. I'm going to take Cade McDonald. And nobody's going to do anything on us on the line of scrimmage. I don't know. Listen, honestly, we still need a wide receiver. I have no problem taking Denzel Boston. Yeah, at 24, 6'3", 6'4" guy who can make some plays downfield. Decent route runner, good underneath. He's got to fix the drops a little bit, but you're talking about a pick 24 for a team that needs to score some points, whether it's for Deshaun Watson or it's for Shedeur Sanders or whoever. They need to upgrade that wide receiver room, and he's the best available still there. All right, Chicago Bears, man.
Well, their center just retired. Not just retired, but retired earlier in the offseason. They need defensive line help and safety.
If I'm them, I'll probably take – and you can actually send these guys to multiple defenses, but if I'm them, I would probably take – well, Cade McDonald would be good for them, but they've gotten pretty decent play out of the linemen that they do have now. You could go ahead and gamble on a guy like TJ Parker that he turns out to be the guy that you saw from him as a true freshman. Kind of struggled the past couple seasons, but the talent is definitely there. I would probably lean TJ Parker. What do you think?
I agree.
You sure?
Well, they need the help, man, on the edge. I mean, who else is there?
All right.
Keldrick Falk. Yeah, right there too.
The Buffalo Cows. What do they do, man? I mean, they got them a wide receiver. He may not be a dominant, prototypical number 1 type of wide receiver, but DJ Moore is immediately their best wide receiver.
No, by far.
Yeah, so they're not going to take. Well, I think they got PTSD from Keon Coleman. I don't see them taking.
He's still there though, man. He's still there.
I know. I don't see them taking a guy in the first round though.
They need linebacker help.
They do. Dayon Walker turned out to be a good player for them last year. Yeah. But man, I don't know. Caleb Banks, you take a gamble on him at 26, a guy that has the potential to be the best defensive tackle in his class.
I don't think they're in position to make gambles. Well,
man, everything's a gamble for them.
Your dog doesn't like the pick.
My dog doesn't like a cat that's probably outside crossing my driveway.
That's Macho, right?
Yeah.
Oh, there you go.
Said, man, you're almost too long. I don't know. Buffalo's like, have they gotten stale?
I don't know what they gone, but they haven't,
They got the league's leading rusher and Cook. You got Josh Allen. You added a wide receiver.
Defense. Let's go defense for them.
Yeah, there's really not a lot of offensive prospects still left anyway for the first round. But they don't have too much of a choice.
Just pick your guy, man.
Yeah, I mean, if you're talking about somebody that can step in and play immediately And you talking about the value of the pick, I would just go ahead and take Caden McDonald. It was rumored that they wanted Tyleek Williams a year ago before Detroit took him, and they get the other Ohio State guy. All right, the 49. This is kind of easy for me because I see a team that they need safety help too. Once again, I don't know how high organizations are on Emmanuel McNeil Warren, so I kind of stay away from him. But this is a team that had Armstead. This was a team that had DeForest Buckner. I don't view the 49ers as the type of team that would be scared off of a guy like Keldrick Faulk, because the knock on him is that a lot of people don't know what to do with him. You know, he's a supersized DN. He doesn't really rush the passer very well off the edge. He's not quick enough. He's not explosive enough. But he is an elite run defender. He's powerful enough to hold his own at the point of attack. He understands how to two-gap, so he does have value. I think with the defenders, what they need, they could honestly take tackle. They could go offensive tackle, but they did bring back the all-time great Trent Williams, but that doesn't mean that you can't still get a guy that's on the board that you like.
Yeah.
So for me, it comes out what makes them the best version of them as a team, because they need wide receiver help, but there's nothing available for them. If we really want to be honest about it, they need tight end help. They're in the worst situation. This is the team that would honestly trade back if they had the opportunity, because there's nothing here that could help them. So you have to go out there and figure out, it's either offensive tackle, or it's another defensive player to make our defensive elite going up against the Rams, going up against the Seahawks.
So you wouldn't take McNeil Warren?
No, I wouldn't. I would take one of the two offensive tackles, or I would take Keldrick Faulk. And I'm kind of leaning towards the tackle because they've been needing tackle help for a while. And you go ahead, even if Max doesn't start right away at left tackle, which is a good chance he doesn't, he can start at right tackle. And then if both sides do decide to move on between Trent Williams and the 49ers, you can go ahead and move Max over to left tackle heading into 2027. So that's kind of where I would be leaning.
All right, that's the pick.
All right, Houston.
Running back, safety or center, guard, defensive line.
Yep, best defensive football a year ago. You just paid Will Anderson a lot of money. You need defensive line help on the interior as well. You're going to invest more money, another pick, and another versatile defensive lineman like Keldrick Faulk. Maybe, maybe not. They do have a defensive head coach. So would it surprise me if they went there? It wouldn't at all. They could use another corner, just to be honest. Avion Terrell is a guy that I believe would be worth the risk. Man, you're not a fan of CJ Stroud, and there's nothing here to help him. So this is another team that could probably trade back, but
I didn't say I didn't like him. I just don't like the way he's been playing lately. That's all I said.
I get it. If I'm Houston, I would probably gamble on this spot. You're talking about the 28th overall pick. I would take Caleb Banks, because if he's healthy, and that's the whole thing. You got to hope these feet check out, because he hurt the same foot back in his freshman year. So you want to make sure he's not a big fella with feet issues already. But if medically everything checks out, and this is a guy that showed up at the combine that still worked out with a broken foot. If everything checks out, you're talking about a guy that's 6'6", 330 pounds, that moves like Chris Jones, can play everywhere along the defensive line, similar to Chris Jones. That's still kind of scratching the surface of learning how to actually play defensive tackle in the NFL. So for a team like Houston, you got the edge rushers. If you could hit on a guy like Caleb Banks, man, that makes that defense even freaking better. And at pick 28, considering what's on the board, why not?
All right. Caleb Banks is the pick for the Texans. All right. And 29.
Trying to get good to keep beating up the Raiders, man. I'll make this pick, Kansas City fans. All right, man, we already gave him an elite safety.
He's right there in front of you, man. It's right there in front of you.
Yeah, I mean, this is another team that needed maybe some offensive help. Avion Terrell.
Keldrick Faulk.
Blake Miller. Yeah. I just don't, for what they need, I don't see the help there. This is another team that will probably trade back, try to get a wide receiver early second or whatever. But if I'm Kansas City, I'm going to just keep improving my defense. I'll go ahead and take Keldrick Faulk. Miami Dolphins. We gave him David Bailey, hell of a player. They got Patrick Paul at tackle. That's still over there. What do you think they do? I mean, this is draft one of a rebuild. So yeah, I mean, you gave him potentially the best edge rusher in the class. So that's not bad to start out with. Do you keep building the defense?
Yeah, I think at this point you have to, right? I mean, look what's on the board. Terrell, I think you can't go bad either way, honestly. I mean, they just need so much.
Yeah, they do. They do. I'll double down because they did take Grant from defensive tackle from Michigan a year ago in the first round. I'll go ahead and lean towards Peter Woods at that spot, which is kind of right around where he probably should go. So you got two guys that could potentially improve your defense.
All right.
All right, the New England Patriots, who you don't
Patriots.
believe in. All right, kind of easy for me, man. Even though I think Avion Terrell is their type of player. All right, so what do? They're not going defense to tackle. That spot's for him right now. Caleb Lomu's got a ton of talent. In all truthfulness, how do they feel about Will Campbell? Yeah, man, we all know that. Blake Miller does not short arms, though. If the offensive weapons aren't there, we're talking about them maybe trading for an A.J. Brown, but there's no offensive help really there. So you're kind of in a situation where you're going to take the best available player. If you still want to help out your quarterback in Drake May, you would probably go offensive line here. Regardless of, it's not about protecting feelings. They may feel like Will Campbell's a left tackle. He may feel like he's a left tackle. Only time will tell, but it's possible that it could be proven that he's not one. And he could be a really good guard for you.
I think everything's on the table at this point.
Yeah,
as far
and I
as
mean,
him
it's
in
it's not about protecting his feelings. It's about getting more talent. And what did we say at the beginning of this draft? You can never have too many good offensive linemen.
Yeah.
So I would take Blake Miller here. All right, man.
All right.
Seattle lost a corner in free agency. They lost Reek Woolen. This is a team that absolutely loves their DBs. They love metrics. They think outside the box. They love taking best available player. You do have the offensive player of the year, of course, in Jackson Smith-Njigba, but you do need more offensive weaponry. You lost your running back to free agency. Horton, the wide receiver from Colorado State, Tony Horton. He turned out to be a good player for you when he was available. Seattle just got the best luck, bro. And Seattle's in a situation where they can also take best available player. And just looking at how this board kind of played out, Colton Hood, they need corner help. I would, just from like the raw talent perspective, I like Avion Terrell a lot smaller, but he's fast, and they do like their corners fast. He's a little faster than Colton Hood. Colton Hood's a little bit bigger, maybe a little bit sturdier in run support, but they're both pretty solid in run support. Man, why am I struggling so bad with Seattle, man?
Go to Terrell.
Or Emmanuel McNeil Warren. I don't know. But like I said, it'd be unfair to do that because I don't know who likes who. They could go offensive line, Jacob Rodriguez. They could go really far down the list there. All right, so I don't know about the injury, man. Just to be safe, I'll roll with Colton.
All right. That concludes our round 1 NFL mock draft. Again, the draft is only a couple days away. Yeah, man, should be good.
Definitely. We try to be as honest as possible about it. May not look like anybody else's mock draft you've seen on television, but overall, man, I think it was a very solid and well thought out draft. And any thoughts before we get out of here?
Well, we know that there's going to be teams in the first round that are going to trade up or they're going to trade down. So obviously the players that they're going to select might look a little bit different because their needs are going to be different from where these teams are picking right now. But I'm excited, man. Should be good. Starting Thursday night.
Yeah, definitely. I think it's going to be a very, very exciting first round. As I mentioned, we got 6 teams with 2 first-round picks. There's got to be some sort of record right there. So that within itself, I believe, is going to provide a very, very fireworks-laced first round for everybody out here. So strap in and enjoy.
All right. Thank you, everyone, for watching, and we'll talk to you guys soon.